Myth of the Week, Chiron. Writer, Madeline Miller. Date, October 31st, 2011. Chiron was born under unusual circumstances. His father, the Titan Kronos, was with the nymph Philyra when Rhea, Kronos' wife, suddenly appeared. Kronos turned himself into a stallion to escape her notice, and 9 months later, Philyra gave birth to a half-horse baby, whom she raised, or maybe abandoned, on Mount Pelion. Chiron grew up to be just, kind, and wise in many arts, including medicine, gymnastics, prophecy, hunting, and music. Because of this, he was much sought after as a tutor of heroes, and his charges eventually included Peleus, Jason, Asclepius, and of course, Achilles. Homer calls Chiron the wisest and most just of all centaurs. Generally, centaurs were known as being brutish and violent, eating their meat raw, living outside the bounds of civilization, and pillaging whenever they got the chance. In order to separate Chiron from his barbaric cousins, face painters often depicted him as having a full man's body with only 2 horse feet behind. One of the most fascinating myths about Chiron involves Heracles and Prometheus. While visiting the centaur, Heracles accidentally pricked Chiron with one of his arrows poisoned with the blood of the Hydra. The poison made the wound incurable, despite Chiron's skill in healing, and the centaur was doomed to an eternity of agony. So Chiron went to Zeus and offered up his mortality in exchange for the freedom of Prometheus. The king of the gods agreed. Prometheus was freed, and Chiron's soul was placed among the stars, where he became the constellation Sagittarius. This story is interesting to me for a lot of reasons. I have always had a soft spot for Prometheus, the creator of humans who defied Zeus to bring them fire and other comforts. As punishment, Zeus chained him to the Caucasus Mountains and sent eagles every day to rip out his liver, which, being immortal, grew back every night. It feels beautifully fitting to me that Chiron would choose to give up his life for him, the only other god who shows himself a consistent and selfless friend to mortals. This story is also interesting because of Chiron's ability to forfeit his immortality. As far as I know, this is one of the only examples of a god dying in Greek mythology. The next closest example I can think of is Pollux giving up half of his immortality to his human brother Castor so that they can live 6 months on Earth together and 6 months in the underworld. A few last thoughts on Chiron. His name comes from the Greek chair, meaning hand, a reference to his skill at surgery, itself from the Greek chirurgos, literally hand worker. He was a popular figure in ancient literature and also pops up in a number of modern works. John Updike's The Centaur is based on the life of Chiron, and Chiron also features in Elizabeth Cook's novel Achilles. He is a character in the Percy Jackson series, and I like to think that the classics-loving J.K. Rowling was inspired by Chiron in her portrait of the wise centaurs, Firenze especially, in the Harry Potter series. He also plays an important role in my own novel, The Song of Achilles.